What is up, people? We are back with another video. In this video we're going to be doing something completely different. We are going to be reacting rather than playing. We're going to be reacting to a video called Top 10 Worst Roller Coaster. Yeah, I'm terrified of roller coasters. I personally would never get on one. I have been on them. As a kid I went on loads. I used to love the thrill. Now not so much. With me, right, the thing is, I just feel like if there is a chance you can tempt, then you shouldn't do it. And roller coasters tempt it, you know. It's too scary. It's not worth it. Anyway, we're gonna see my reasons why in this video. I'm sure of it. So let's hop in the video and let's see what's going on.
The Batman. On June 28, 2008, 17-year-old Asia LaShawn Ferguson visited Six Flags Over Georgia with his family and church group. The Batman was an inverted roller coaster where passengers' legs dangled freely below.
Oh, I don't like that already.
Ferguson's hat flew off his head.
Oh no! His hat.
To retrieve it. The hat had landed in a restricted area beneath the roller coaster tracks. Warning signs marked the zone as off limits.
Bro, just leave it. It's just a hat. You can get another one.
6-foot fences to reach the area where his hat had fallen. As he searched below, another train approached on the track above him. The train was traveling at 50 miles per hour. A passenger's dangling foot struck Ferguson in the head. The impact was instant. Ferguson was decapitated. Witnesses saw the collision. The train continued to the station, while Ferguson's body lay below. Six Flags temporarily closed the Batman.
What?
It reopened the following day.
He got decapitated. His head came off. His head came off. Imagine you kick someone's head off. That is ridiculous. For a hat. He now doesn't even have a head to wear the hat. Oh my god. Honestly, never even bother with roller coasters. It's not worth it.
Park added security around restricted areas.
The fact they opened the next day is insane.
Death became one of the
absolutely insane. They should have closed the whole park for that.
The Big Dipper. On May 30th, 1972, a warm Tuesday afternoon in London, schools had just broken up for half-term, and Battersea Fun Fair was packed. The
Never
Big
heard of
Dipper
it.
was a wooden roller coaster that had been operating since 1951.
Well, this thing, most of them are made of wood.
The cable pulled the cars up a steep incline, then gravity did the rest. Around 2:30 p.m., 31 passengers climbed aboard.
I know how to do these. I've played Minecraft. I know what minecarts are.
Rode a brakeman whose job was to control the brakes. The train began its climb. Then the haulage rope snapped. The train hesitated at the top, then started rolling backwards. The brakeman lunged for the brake lever, but nothing happened. The brake system did not respond. The safety devices that should have stopped a rollback were missing or broken. As the train picked up speed,
it's just not worth it.
At full speed. The wooden track couldn't handle the force. The first car jumped the rails, smashed through the barrier, and plunged 15 feet. The other two cars followed. Passengers were thrown from their seats. When the chaos ended, 5 children were dead, and 13 others were seriously injured. Later, a 15-year-old girl who had survived the crash was standing on a wooden walkway when the platform collapsed beneath her feet.
What? No!
The investigation revealed 66 safety violations. The rope was in poor condition. Most safety devices were missing or broken.
How?
Also found that employees had been drinking and using drugs while working.
What? Oh my god!
Manslaughter charges. The Big Dipper was torn down, and Battersea Fun Fair closed by 1974.
They were drunk and high, and the roller coaster was made of wood. Brother, I wouldn't even be in the country. That's insane. I feel so bad for those people, honestly.
Shockwave. On August 23rd, 1999, 20-year-old Timothy Fan visited King's Dominion with a friend.
I know some people who absolutely love roller coasters, you know, and I never understand it.
Harnesses and waist bars. Fan boarded the 6-car train. As the train climbed the lift hill and began its descent, witnesses noticed something wrong. Fan was wiggling and struggling against his restraints. He managed to work one arm free from the shoulder harness. His body began to contort sideways as the train gained speed through the course. Near the end of the ride, the coaster entered a 180-degree curve.
What?
The forces acting on Fan's body proved
180-degree drop
from the train and thrown 40 feet off the catwalk beside the tracks. Fan died instantly from head trauma. When the train returned to the station, Fan's restraints were still locked. He had deliberately worked himself free during the ride.
What?
The shockwave reopened 3 days later. The Mindbender.
Okay, so I sort of blame him for that. I feel like that was sort of on him.
In Alberta was packed with visitors. The mall housed an indoor amusement park featuring the Mindbender, a triple-loop steel roller coaster. The Mindbender had 4 cars connected in a train. It reached speeds of 60 miles per hour and took passengers through 3 complete
it's like a
loops.
pretzel.
The ride had passed a safety inspection the day before.
Ow.
That evening, Rod Chico and 3 friends climbed into the last
Rod Chico. I'm not going to say anything actually because I have a feeling he's not going to make
the
it.
third loop, 4 cap screws in the wheel assembly failed. The last car began to fishtail wildly. The wheel detached from the track. The car derailed completely. The lap bar restraints unlocked, ejecting all 4 passengers 30 feet to the concrete floor below. The train, slowed by the derailment, rolled backwards and crashed into a concrete support pillar. Rescuers found 3 passengers dead. Rod Chico survived.
Hey!
Injured. Both his legs
Come
were
on!
shattered,
Oh
along with
no!
his ribs, shoulder, pelvis, and lower back. His body was folded in half from the impact. He spent months learning to walk again. The investigation found design flaws in the wheel assembly and inadequate maintenance.
He was folded in half.
The Mindbender was closed for months.
And people still want to go on these things.
When reopened, anti-rollback devices were installed, seatbelts were added, and the train was reduced from 4 cars to 3. The accident became Canada's worst roller coaster disaster.
No.
The Big Dipper 2. On July 24th, 1930, a hot summer day in Omaha, Nebraska, Krug Park was packed with visitors. The Big Dipper was a wooden roller coaster, 4 cars connected in a train. The ride pulled passengers up the first hill, then gravity did the rest. That afternoon, 23 passengers filled the 4 cars.
23 seems like a lot, you know.
C.H. Stout, Anthony Politica, and 15-year-old Ruth Frell. The train began its climb up the first hill.
Always makes me sad when it's children, man.
Loose and jammed one of the wheels. The first car jumped the track. It broke through the guardrail and plunged 35 feet to the ground.
Why is it always like between 30 and 40?
Passengers were thrown from their seats or crushed beneath the derailed cars. The impact was devastating. 4 people were dead and 19 others were seriously injured. But the crowd of spectators had surged forward to see what happened. Thousands of people surrounded the crash site, blocking emergency access. Ambulances arrived, but couldn't reach the victims.
Bro!
They were forced to break down sections of the park fence to create routes for medical personnel.
So the people, they just stood around watching and didn't let ambulances come through to help them. What is actually wrong with people? I feel like that's such a human thing to do. Like, humans will just sit there and they will just, like, you know, they'd rather watch or, like, pull out their phone and start taking photos and actually let people get help. It's disgusting.
The investigation found that the loose bolt had caused the wheel to lock up, forcing the car off the rails. Krug Park never recovered. Attendance dropped and the park closed by 1940.
Good.
The city of Omaha banned roller coasters for years afterwards. The site was later converted into a public park with no rides. The Big Dipper accident was known as the deadliest roller coaster disaster in history at that time.
I've lost
the Matterhorn bobsleds. On January 3rd, 1984, 48-year-old Dolly Young visited Disneyland with 5 friends. The Matterhorn bobsleds featured small sleds that traveled through an artificial mountain at 43 miles per hour. Young sat alone in her sled while her friends took the parallel track. The sleds began their descent through the mountain's tunnels. Partway through the ride, Young fell from her bobsled onto the tracks.
Oh no!
On the parallel track. The family inside thought the figure on the tracks was a dummy. The bobsled struck Young at full speed. She was decapitated instantly. The father in the oncoming sled realized what had happened. He screamed at his daughters to close their eyes as their sled passed over Young's body. The ride operators shut down the attraction when Young's empty sled arrived at the station. Young was pronounced dead at the scene.
Brother, she got decapitated. What is going on with these rides and why do they keep taking people's heads?
Her safety restraint was found.
I quite like my head.
The Matterhorn
I don't want it gone.
Disney made modifications to the ride, though the changes were not disclosed.
How can it be open the next day, man?
On August 28, 1999, Kimberly Bailey and her 8-year-old daughter Jessica visited Jillian's Wonderland Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey. The Wild Wonder was a small steel roller coaster. Individual cars were pulled up a 40-foot incline before rolling through the course. Bailey and Jessica climbed into one of the cars. As their car neared the top of the lift hill, the anti-rollback mechanism failed. The car lost contact.
Seems to be always like the same sort of scenario. They always seem to be rolling backwards or they're getting caught and then they're being thrown out.
Violently into the loading area at the bottom. Bailey and Jessica were thrown from the car. Both died instantly. The park had replaced the coaster's anti-rollback device with an unapproved, locally made part.
This is such a depressing video. Why did I pick this one?
Wild Wonder was shut down and removed. New Jersey upgraded its regulations to require manufacturer-approved parts only. The Derby Racer. In 1911, the Derby Racer opened at Revere Beach, Massachusetts. It featured 2 parallel tracks where trains raced against each other in a figure-8 pattern. The ride had no restraints, no speed controls, and basic wooden construction. Passengers simply held on.
No, it's 1911, but come on.
Within weeks of opening, disaster struck. A
Shock.
man was thrown from his car during a turn and died. Later that year, the company's own treasurer was killed. He had stood up in his car to lecture passengers about safety when he was ejected from the ride. Authorities closed the coaster and demanded safety improvements.
Can't say that's not deserved, to be honest.
Brakes and lap bars before reopening, but the deaths continued. On a busy day in 1917, a man lost his hat during the ride. He tried to retrieve it and fell out of his car on a...
Whoa! What is it with people in his hats? Let the hat go. You can just buy more.
The wreckage told the story. The impact broke nearly every bone in his body.
Oh,
he died shortly after.
For a hat.
Another passenger was thrown from the train in 19...
Your hairline can't be that bad.
Confirmed deaths and numerous injuries, the Derby Racer continued operating for 25 years.
What?
Each incident led to minor modifications, but the fundamental design remained dangerous. The ride's license was revoked and reinstated multiple times as authorities struggled with the deadly attraction.
That's so
the Derby
stupid.
Racer finally closed in 1936.
Thank God for that.
By a newer model.
Oh, okay,
it
never
became
mind.
known as one of the most dangerous roller coasters ever built. The Rough Riders. In 1910, the Rough Riders roller coaster opened at Coney Island. The ride featured an electric-powered system where the motorman controlled speed with a throttle. That first year, the train derailed on a sharp curve. 17 passengers were thrown from the track. 3 people were dead, and many others were seriously injured. Coney Island officials made minor improvements, but the ride continued operating. 5
I
years
will
later,
never
on
understand
July
it.
27, 1915, 6 passengers boarded the Rough Riders. As the train gained speed down a steep incline, it approached a sharp turn. The motorman took the turn too fast. The train's wheels left the track. The car flipped on its side 30 feet in the air.
30 feet again.
Into an iron railing and fell to the ground below. The damage was severe. 3 riders were killed by the fall. 2 others clung to the wrecked car until police rescued them.
Wow.
A woman and her son
Fair
survived
enough.
by hanging onto the handrail.
Wow.
A bystander on the ground was struck by a falling body.
Oh.
The Rough Riders had now killed 6 people in 5 years. The ride was shut down after the 1915 accident
Thank
and
the
dismantled
Lord.
within a few years.
Good.
The repeated tragedies helped establish early safety regulations.
Imagine you're not even on the ride. Imagine you are just stood there watching the ride and then a person falls from the heavens and just clatters you. That's ridiculous.
Requirements for better braking systems and restraints. The Fujin Raijin 2. On May 5th, 2007, Expo Land Amusement Park in Osaka was packed with visitors for Children's Day. Fujin Raijin 2 was a stand-up roller coaster. 20 passengers boarded the 6-car train, including 19-year-old university student Yoshino Kogawara. The train launched and began its course. As it traveled 131 feet above
oh my God,
passengers heard a
that's
loud
high.
The second car suddenly derailed. The wheel axle had snapped, causing the car to tilt violently. Kogawara was thrown against the guardrail at high speed. She struck her head and was killed instantly.
Damn.
The derailed car dragged the rest of the train for 984 feet before stopping. 19 other passengers were injured. The investigation revealed extreme negligence. The park had skipped annual maintenance in 2007. The wheel axle had not been replaced in 15 years. Park officials had reported the axle as good condition, based only on visual inspection.
They're never getting hired again. They should be. Genuinely, I think they should be arrested for that.
But Expoland had
they have to have been
safety requirements.
arrested, surely.
Collapsed after the accident.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
The park briefly reopened but closed permanently in 2009 as the owners declared bankruptcy. The Son of Beast. In 2000, Kings Island opened Son of Beast, a wooden roller coaster that reached.
Why are they making things out of wood?
The ride had problems from the start,
21st century.
malfunctions and rough
Stop making things out of wood. It don't work.
Riders suffered broken vertebrae and a broken neck. Another passenger was hospitalized with back injuries in 2003.
That's
On
just
July
ridiculous.
9, 2006, 27 passengers were aboard when one train cracked a support beam while passing through the Rose Bowl section. The damaged beam caused the track to sag. When the next train hit the weakened section, the track dipped suddenly. The jolt was brutal. 27 people were rushed to hospitals with chest and neck injuries. One passenger said it felt like hitting a brick wall. The investigation found cracked and splintered wooden support beams.
They gotta
the
stop
ride.
making stuff
Son
out of
of
wood,
Beast
man.
reopened after modifications, but another accident occurred in 2009. A passenger suffered a broken blood vessel in her head. The ride never operated again. It was demolished in 2012. Son of Beast.
Good. It's not even that long ago if you think about it.
In roller coaster history. The Cobra. In 2008, the Cobra roller coaster opened at Tivoli Friheden Amusement Park in Aarhus, Denmark. Months after opening, the front car detached from the track.
Oh, I don't like the look of that.
Young riders were injured with fractures and concussions. The park made repairs, and the Cobra continued operating. On July 14, 2022,
2022
jolt and heard cracking metal as the train went through its course. The rear car broke off from the track. The last row of seats detached and hung off the side of the coaster. A 14-year-old girl in the rear car was
what?
A 13-year-old boy next to her suffered a hand injury but survived. The train ground to a halt. Park staff evacuated the area. The girl could not be saved. The same structural flaw had now caused 2 major accidents. Tivoli Friheden dismantled the Cobra the next day, and the ride was permanently closed.
Good.
The Cobra had failed twice in identical fashion.
That's only 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
On September 28, 2019, visitors gathered at La Feria Chapultepec Mágico in Mexico City. Quimera was a triple-loop steel roller coaster. The aging Schwarzkopf model had a history of maintenance issues. That day, witnesses saw the last car of a train shake violently and derail on a turn near the end of the ride. The rear car flipped upside down and detached completely. 2 riders were thrown out from 33 feet. 2 young men, ages 18 and 21, died from head injuries. 2 women were also injured when the car slammed into the structure. The investigation found that a component in the car's axle assembly had broken, causing it to detach. Mexico City authorities immediately closed La Feria Chapultepec.
They all need to be closed down. We just should close every
within months. The historic
roller coaster
was permanently shut down.
I'd vote for that.
If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for similar.
Wow. Well, there we are. There we have it. Proves my point. Roller coasters are stupid. People shouldn't go on them because they're just a risk to your life. A risk that no one should be willing to take because it's just daft. I'm definitely not getting on any roller coaster anytime soon. If anyone has any roller coaster experience of things going wrong, scary experiences, let me know in the comments. I'd love to read some and further prove my point. But yeah, also if you guys enjoyed this sort of video, then please let me know below, and I can do more because I enjoy reacting to stuff, so I'm sure I can do that. Anyway, I have nothing else to say. I'm going to go cry in a corner. Rest in peace to everyone who passed away in this video. It's obviously very sad. And also, obviously, shout out to Simple Paint for making the video. So, go and, follow him. He's got millions of subs. I'm sure he'll be fine. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Much appreciated. Love you all. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.